All right, this is Bible History 54. Let's review briefly. We had the announcement to Zechariah about John the Baptist. We had the announcement to Mary that she would give birth to the Savior. Then we had the birth of John the Baptist. Now we have the birth of Jesus. It's a very short lesson in the hardcover book. It'll probably take you a little longer to do the softcover book, but again, you'll be able to work together. So the birth of Jesus, it has 8 footnotes. The first one is in the title. And by the way, this is lesson 54 on page 114. The first footnote is in the title, The Birth of Jesus. And it says, the coming of the Savior had been foretold thousands of years before his birth. See Genesis 3:15. Genesis 3:15 was the first prophecy of the birth of Jesus. And it was given to Eve. And she thought then when she got pregnant that she was giving birth to the Savior. And she would find out that that wasn't so. Okay, number 2 is a decree. And it says down here, gotta find 2. A law, a decree is a law. I skipped something in the footnote for number 1. The birth of Jesus. Prophets in the Old Testament had prophesied the time of his coming and had said that his mother would be a virgin. One of them had even foretold that he would be born in the town of Bethlehem. When it gets around Christmas time, we'll talk about a lot of those prophecies and fulfillments. Prophecies were made hundreds, even thousands of years before Jesus was born. Every single one of them came true. All right, so we've gotten 1 and 2. Let's do 3. 3 is Caesar Augustus. Caesar Augustus was the great Roman emperor at the time. Judea, Samaria, and Galilee were among many lands under the control of his empire. It was the Holy Roman Empire. When Jesus would come onto earth, it was a time where the Israelites, the Jewish people, were being persecuted. All right, let's go to number 4. Got it marked. Where did number 4 go? There it is. The world should be registered, basically counted. It was a census. We're having a census this year. Everybody had to go and be counted. The reason they had to go and be counted is because the emperor wanted his taxes. So they all had to go. You got counted, then they'd know how much tax to expect. Number 5, Bethlehem. This is the town where Jesus' ancestors were from. Bethlehem, if 6th graders might remember this, means house of bread, which is interesting because Jesus called himself the bread of life. All right, and number 6, he was of the house and lineage of David. That's his family tree. You have a house and a lineage. It's the people who came before you. And then we have number 7, his betrothed. That means they were engaged, his fiancée. And then we have 8, a manger, which was a feeding trough or just a plain old box of wood for food for animals. Here we go. The birth of Jesus out of Luke 2. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be registered, each to his own town. Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. She gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling cloths, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. So I want to answer a few questions from the next page before I stop. So I'm on page 115. It says, for reflection. Question 1, how did it happen that God's son was born in Bethlehem when Mary and Joseph lived in Nazareth in Galilee? It was foretold that Jesus would be born in Bethlehem. And if you remember the movie The Star, or the one with the animals, they go to Bethlehem. Well, that happened because of the census, the counting that needed to take place. God worked so that Mary and Joseph would end up in Bethlehem for Jesus to be born. Question 2, Jesus' first bed was a manger. What does that tell us about God's son? Well, think about where you were born. Pretty much all of you were born in a hospital, into a nice, comfy, cozy little bed, but nothing extra super fancy, probably. Jesus was born a regular person, and in fact, almost for us, a little less than a regular person. We don't put our babies in mangers or in animal boxes. Sometimes babies in history have been put into drawers, not in, closed in, but people have used drawers for beds. So Jesus came into nothing fancy, just like you and I were born into just something regular. He was very humbled, and he came down to earth, nothing special, just a regular person. The human part, the God part was very special. All right, question 3. Why does this simple story give Christians so much reason to rejoice? Well, that should be easy. That's because he came to be our Savior. He came to live the perfect life that we cannot live. God demands that we are holy, but we can't do it. We can't keep all the 10 commandments and keep all the law and do everything perfect, but Jesus did that for us. So that is a huge reason to rejoice. And out of Isaiah 9:6, which is way long ago, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given. That was prophesied thousands of years ago and came true. All right, so that's the story, and I will send an email right after this, right after I send this one with the video, so that you know what to do in the book. Talk to you later.